You join me, week 3, run number 1 of the week. We've got a nice easy run today, 16k, on the hottest day of the year so far. I think it's one of the hottest days in the history actually for the UK. It's going to get up to about 38, 40 today. So I've come out as early as possible, say early as possible, but 8 AM, I'm going to hit an easy 16k, try and keep that heart rate below 150, and just enjoy it. We are about halfway through now, 8.6k, feeling good. I've had to drop the pace a little bit just because it's got hotter, but one of the things I was thinking about on this run was I felt really anxious this morning. I don't know why, but whenever I come for a run, it just seems to really settle it and drop it. And I think one of the reasons that I was thinking about is whenever we have a lot of options or a lot of things we can do or a lot of things that we're thinking about at one time, it gives us too much choice and we get anxious about the right one to make and procrastinate. Where is when you just get out and run, you can only do one thing. It's simple, you just run. That definitely helps me. So it was definitely one of the harder runs I've done so far, without a doubt. But without doubt, one of my favourite things to chug on post run, a little bit of apple juice. We've only got literally dregs left in there, and then just some real cheap lime juice. I just find it so refreshing. Temperature was up to 27. I was listening to a podcast when I was running around. A lot of people sometimes ask me, two people ask me when I'm running what I'm usually listening to because I get bored. I always tend to listen to podcasts. If obviously you're going to listen to podcasts, listen to my podcast, The Not So Fit Couple, leave a link in the description. Today I was listening to Nick Bear's podcast with this dude about positivity. And he was talking about how sometimes when he goes out on a run, he has to take a flick knife out with him in case there's bears or wildcats in the forest. And as I was listening to it, this fucking big pigeon just flew out of the embankment, and literally my heart rate spiked about 160. The only thing I ever have to be fearful of when I run is that mum's going to ring me and my podcast goes off. But job done, week 3, run 1 done. Definitely one of the hardest. I think my pace was at 5:29 for that easy pace in this heat. I'm quite happy with. I wasn't focused on time for this one. I was just constantly trying to check my heart rate. It was around 150. But I'll pull the Strava screenshot, I'll put it up. But for now, we're going to shower. We are back to the beautiful UK weather today. It's pissing down. I'm actually quite happy about it, to be honest. Does that make me a proper Brit? Maybe. We are currently just driving to BMW service station today because already after having my car for 6 months, the brake pads are really screwed. But in today's video, what I want to talk about is accessories and kit that I am going to be using during the 12-week marathon prep. Shoes, watches, heart rate monitors, glasses, vests, carry gear. It's all going to be in today's video. But first, like explained in the last video, we're going to go and hit our strength session first. So it is 8:30 AM this morning. We already did 2 runs down, but I'm still getting those strength sessions in first before I do my runs, skill-based sessions. And today, we've got a big bench. Even though we're not talking about gym kit today, one of the things I always use when I'm benching is these little sleeves from Strength Shop. Just because you only get one set of elbows, I also just find it gives me way more support when I'm going through the bench press, especially when I've got a bicep feels a bit tender at the moment. So, yeah.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Look, straight from the mud like Ruby. Straight to the stage, they love me. I understand they hungry, but please don't hate, that's ugly. I've been sliding, shaking, moving, I've been popping in my city. Shawty say she love the way we do it with me. I be too turned up to ever give a fuck. I ain't come to argue, let a nigga fuck. They been talking pennies, I need bigger bucks.
We on? Yeah, ready to go? Cool. Sneaker review. So I'm going to be running through some of the running shoes that I use for this marathon prep and the different uses of them. By no means do you need 4 pairs of shoes that I'm about to run through that I've got. These are just like a collection of ones that I've been using for the past year to 2 years since I've been running. So first shoe, this is probably the one that I use most. It's pretty worn now, as you can probably see. I need to ideally get a new pair for this marathon prep because these are probably my favorite running shoes. These are the Nike Air Zoom Tempo Next Percent, and I really like this color. They're a bit more difficult to get hold of. These were, I think, £160 at the time, but I believe you can probably pick them up for around £120, £100 now. And again, I'm no shoe expert, so if you come to the channel looking for shoe reviews, this is just my personal experience with them, so don't shoot the messenger. These are, I would describe, a fast shoe, very durable. They are a narrow fit because I've got narrow feet, not fat feet, so they fit me very well. They also give me, I feel like, a lot of spring when I'm running, which is good for me, but since I've got the calf injury, they give me a lot more support of head. Some people say that they're not the best in the wet, not the best for running around corners, but during a marathon, I don't tend to be doing that. And I also think they're one of the best looking shoes, so I think they go well with a lot of different running outfits. I'm pretty universal, so yeah, that's my favourite probably running shoe at the moment. And they are good for long distances. Lucy ran 100k in these as well, and she thought they were great, so definitely probably one of mine and Lucy's favourite shoes. Next shoe up is the Hocker Clifton Edge. So these are a bit more of a weighty shoe, a fatter shoe, a thicker shoe, giving more support in my opinion. They've got this big edgy block at the back which helps with a softer landing, and if you're someone who, if you know what this means, heel strikes when you're running, so you're really landing on the heel as you come down for each pace. These are supposed to help support if you were a bit of a heel striker. They're much more of a wider fit shoe for a fat foot. The only thing I found with these is, due to my running style, is that especially on my left foot, I tend to get a lot of blisters through the ball of my foot because they move a little bit because my feet are narrow. But if you've got fat feet, chunky feet, these are great. Some people say these are better for short runs. I've done halves in these, they were fine. I think these retailed at £140, probably a less good looking shoe, but I quite like them in these green colour, I think they pop. Next, you'll probably see me running these quite a lot. These are a heavier shoe. These are the the Saucony Endorphin Shifts. Had these for a long time now. They're probably one of my most worn shoes. So they're great cushion, good for high volume. You can cover a lot of distance in these. They are very supported, very cushiony, big sort of sole through the back and mid-foot, which offers a lot of support. And obviously, like, the really cool, funky colours. There's not many running shoes, don't think, that are like this, like a real old-fashioned, ultra in-your-face sort of running shoe, and they go with a lot of things. However, I don't really run in these a lot anymore, unless I'm just doing like a 5k or something. I pretty much use them just to tootle around to the gym and do my everyday leisurely stuff, just because I think they look really cool. So I don't like to get them wrecked. I like to wear them with a sport fit, or just where I'm shooting some content or wherever it may be, because I think they look really cool. And they're more of like an entry-level shoe at £80 in Saucony. They've definitely got the money's worth out of these, so a really good value shoe. Last but not least, these are I probably have to read these off the sheet I've got. These are the Under Armour Flow Velocity Wind 2 Speed running shoe. If anything was ever more overnamed, it's this shoe. So I actually got these shoes. I did a running campaign with Under Armour, which is pretty cool. Just goes to show you don't need to be a brilliant runner. You don't need to be anything excellent to be picked up by people or to be noticed. I think if you're a good person, you've got good intentions, you want to help people, you're producing good stuff and doing good things in life, people will notice that. And I think that was one of the things Under Armour noticed with the content that I was producing, hopefully. And I got these for free from Under Armour, but I believe they retail at £140. For me, all I do in these shoes, because they don't offer a lot of support, obviously you probably see the sole is a lot thinner. I tend to do like interval work in these, a lot of speed stuff. If I go down to the track
I'll wear these with a nice and light weight. They don't offer too much support. I've never ran more than a 10K in these, and that's when I was in America and didn't have anything else with me. I think they're quite a cool, good looking shoe. I actually think they're quite similar to, if anyone's ever worn the Nike Metcons, they're almost a similar kind of setup to that, would you say? Maybe not. Maybe don't offer as much support as a Nike Metcon, but similar kind of style, I'd say. Again, I wear these to the gym a lot as well, just for training, general stuff. I'll use them for legs as well. They're pretty good, pretty flat sole. So yeah, they're more my speed shoe. But now we've got our feet sorted, let's see what's going on with the rest of the kit. So next up, we've probably got the two most important pieces of kit that I think I bought since I've been running. One of those being this little guy. Now this is known as the Garmin Pro Phoenix 6 and Sapphire. And it's pretty fucking epic. Apart from just being your everyday fitness watch, it also has GPS. I can play music for it, so I can listen to Spotify, podcasts, music, without taking this with me. Obviously the big thing is that it measures heart rate, and from what I can guesstimate, it is way more accurate than my Apple Watch. It also apparently has ultra rugged construction, which when you bash this glass bit around the face, it doesn't get all scratched and minging. And lastly, the battery life is really good too. My Apple Watch would usually last a day. This, I can wear it for a full week with running without charging it. I think the way the data displayed is really good too. Now obviously this black version is pretty cool. Lucy bought me it, and to be honest, I love it. Bit more on the expensive side. I think this was £580, so not the cheapest running item to buy. But if you're gonna do marathon running or any long distance running, Garmin. The next piece of kit that I've only just bought last week is the Polar HR10 heart rate monitor, or H10 heart rate monitor. Now I've always gone off wrist heart rate monitors, which are great, but apparently these are way more accurate. One, because it's not gonna really take my cadence into consideration, how many steps I'm taking per minute. And the other thing, it's obviously actually sitting close to my heart. Now, do you actually need one of these? Possibly. But this is one of those accurate ways that we can measure heart rate, and whilst I'm using the MAP 180 method, that means a lot. From my experience so far, when I've been running with this, you give it a bit of wet on that side first before you stick it on the heart rate. My heart rate has been way lower when I've been running. Even though I think it feel, I've been working around the same capacity and the pace has been good. So I think this has been a lot better for me. Connectivity, it's Bluetooth, you can connect it to different devices. I've got Zwift and I can connect it to my bike, which is great. You can also use it in the pool, doing other activities, so it's mega versatile. And it only cost me 60 quid. 60 quid? I wear it 3 or 4 times a week. For a 12-week marathon prep, that's 12 weeks times 3. 36 times minimum using it. Divided by £1.60 every time I wear this for a 12-week marathon. No brainer. We're just about to head out for the final run of the week. We're all geared up. So the last few bits of kit that we've got on that I want to run through that we're going to use for the run. One being this vest. This is the Free Train, I think it's 2 Hydro vest. There's only one of them on the Free Train website. Again, all the stuff that I've gone through today I'll link below. But it's been great, to be honest. Like, it's got a zip bit, so I find it really comfortable. It's a lot better and less tight than the other Free Train vests. It's got this little phone compartment which you can pop this in. And the other side, I'll just put my key in there. It's super simple, really comfy, really easy to run in, not too restrictive. Got my heart rate monitor just sitting underneath that as well. And then the other thing is these bad boys. So these are Oakleys, I think they're called Halts. They're most like generic Oakleys you can probably find. When you look for these online, again I'll try and link them below, they'll have a red lens in. These you can swap the lenses in, so I bought these gold lenses, I think they were for £40–45 from Amazon. And I think they just look really cool, like legit. And then I think that's about it to do with kit. This hat, it's another thing, not an essential, but I do like a running cap sometimes, and this was literally, I believe, what, £8 from Fabletics Men. Favourite running cap. Again, I'll link to this below. But we're going on for the final run of this week. Gonna warm up. Still getting a couple of niggles at the moment, so trying to keep on top of those. Using some bombs, icing my knees as much as I can. Next week's episode, we're going to go over nutrition, everything I'm eating in a typical day for marathon prep, and then also weight changes that I've been going through.
see you next week.
Done finna jump for this shit.